Well, thanks for the opportunity to come tonight. Appreciate that. Like Tracy said, my name is Ben Whiting. Born and raised here in Mesa, like many of you. School board education has always been important in our family. In fact, Mesa Public Schools is the reason why our family, at least on my mother's side, moved to Mesa back in the late 30s. My grandfather was hired as a teacher. Ended up at Mesa Junior High. Was on their founding faculty in 1952 and stayed there, taught until his retirement in the mid-80s. Probably rolled in his grave when he figured out his grandson was one of the 5 board members that voted to close and demolish the school. But school board, I've been on again the last 2 terms, so the last 8 years. Was elected originally in 2008. I got to ask Justin, was Rich Crandall, was that the seat that where you're at now, the same district?
Yes.
Okay. So after he went to the Senate, then you.
Right.
So same thing with me at the school board. He didn't run for re-election and recruited me to run for his seat in the school board. So somebody's again, the last 8 years, I won't be running again next month. But it's been a great experience to be involved in my hometown. So my wife is also born and raised here in Mesa. Her mother taught for Mesa Public Schools. My mother taught. So education again has been important to us. And when Rich approached me about it, I was kind of enticed. Because I wanted to give back and be a part of the community. And I never had any aspirations of politics and being in public office. And I figured school board was a good place to do it because there's no R or D after my name when you're running. It's not a partisan election, so I thought that'd be okay. Also, some people don't realize as a school board member you're not compensated, so there's no pay. So all the time, the hours you put in are on your own dime. So it's true community service. And I love that part of it as well. So maybe we can talk a little bit about what the school board does, and then maybe in there we can talk about what they're not, because I think a lot of us, I know that I was beforehand, I didn't understand exactly what they were and what they weren't. So as a school board, you're really the trustees for your local public school system. So that's for here in Mesa. 500 square miles, we have 86 campuses, 64,000 kids, the largest district in the state of Arizona. The next largest, I think, is Tucson, and they're about half our size. So Mesa carries a lot of clout, and I think when they show up at the legislature, their voice is heard because of that. Have incredible people. It's amazing the kind of people that we can attract. I am amazed by the caliber of people, administrators and superintendents and stuff that we've been blessed to have in Mesa. So really, there's 3 areas that we focus on as a board, and they kind of correlate with the branches of government. So we have our legislative part of it, which we handle as a board. The next is administrative, and then judicial. So first is the legislative, and that's the biggest responsibility we have, and that's with establishing and maintaining policies for the district. Primarily, though, we want to establish policies, not only the little things to keep us safe, the drugs, the alcohol, the guns, that kind of stuff, but primarily policies that will help improve student performance. And that's the big thing, to try to get the big thinking and how we can do that, things that we can implement within the district. And then, of course, holding the superintendent and his staff and the superintendents accountable for implementing these policies. Second is with the administrative, right? That's the part that a lot of people think about. We do manage the budget. The dollar amount's not so much, just how we're going to divvy it out and if we can use it all, if there's anything we can give back to the state, that kind of stuff. How much can we roll over to the next year, which is a small percentage of that. Also, hiring a superintendent, that's our responsibility as a board. That's really the only person that we hire as a board. So we, as your representatives, really, of the communities, the citizens, hire a superintendent. We hire that superintendent to hire everybody else. So we're not really involved with that. So when we get a call saying, I don't like this principal, blah, blah, well, talk to the superintendent. That's not our job. That's not really what we do. So we try not to micromanage. It's amazing, once I got elected to be a board member, all the stuff that comes out of the woodwork. Oh, I don't like the color of the paint on this school. I don't like this coach because they did this and this. I understand. I'll give that to the right person. But it's not, as a board member, that's not something you really deal with. Another thing with those decisions you make, you as an individual board member, which may be different than other parts of government, as an individual, you have no legal authority to make any decisions. So it's what the board decides. So even if we typically vet things enough as a group that we come to a unanimous decision, but as Gene can tell you, he comes to our board meetings on a regular basis. We don't always agree, and that's okay. That's kind of how it's supposed to go. If 1 or 2 people disagree, they cast a no vote. Once the board makes a decision, you have to go along with it, even if you didn't vote yes, because it's the board's decision. And again, using an individual and having legal authority at all. Also under that second part of the second responsibility of administration, we are to, as part of the budget, we approve all of the contracts and the expenditures the district makes. So really on a weekly basis, we have contracts come through. A lot of them at the first of the year, obviously. All the food we get to buy, all the pencils, the paper, desks, all that kind of stuff. We approve all those contracts. And you can ask whatever questions you want as a board member, obviously, and do your research and do your due diligence on those as well. And then the last is judicial. A lot of that has to do with like appeals. So staffing issues, if someone's been let go, or a school bus driver, or a teacher for performance or whatever, they can appeal that and it comes to the board. So a lot of that initially is taken care of through the administrators, through the people we hire to take care of that. And then of course expulsions. There's some pretty sad stories that come through, and you can discuss that as a group as well. So really a lot of it is big picture is what we handle. We are a division of the state government, so a lot of stuff that comes down, we're just in compliance. A lot of the changes we make, I think you said the technical stuff, kind of stuff we deal with as well, being in compliant with the state, because we are part of the Department of Education, just on a local level. Other than that, that's kind of where we are from a big picture from board. I don't know if there's any questions specific you have for it. I think that kind of answers the question about our role as a board. Any other questions? Please.
Setting aside all the name changes, where does the school system stand now on Common Core?
That's what the State Department of Education. Yeah, I think that Arizona's kind of modified it to what they believe is appropriate, and that's what we've, as our district alone, our district has voted to comply with that.
So do you have any choice then on which books are chosen?
Which books are chosen?
Yeah, in the school district, is it?
We have a committee that handles a lot of that, kind of vets the books to make sure things are appropriate with you. And that kind of leads into the question about being more involved. Those are committees that you as citizens can join. But really the curriculum, the textbooks, I think are set aside by the curriculum. So, to answer your question, no, I'd say no. A lot of those are set, we buy them in bulk with co-ops with other districts. I guess I should tell them, I forgot to touch on how you become more involved. It sounds like we can be contacted really similar to what Representative Olson can be and how he can be contacted. The most effective for us is the face-to-face as well. Tracy has experience with that. Just call me on my phone. Can I talk to you about something? We do have the open meeting laws that Deanne alluded to, which makes it really difficult for us as a group to talk about things. In fact, if I can, Tracy, something Tracy approached us about when I was board president, right, was having an open call to the public for our meetings. We were a little shy about it, to be honest with you, at first. And I'll just be honest, because we'd seen what happened to our neighbors south of us here and how that really became difficult for that board to operate here a couple of years ago. And so we wanted to set it up to where we could create a forum for people to come talk to us as a group, but then kind of control it as well. Because it isn't the most effective way to talk to the board at the board meetings, to be honest with you, because of the open meeting laws. We can't talk to you. So as a board, the five of us sitting up there, you can come up with the problem, but we can't discuss it with you, because the open meeting laws kind of prevent us from talking about something unless it's on the agenda. So for years, Mesa just said, well, we don't talk about anything else that's on the agenda. So we kind of came to a compromise with Tracy's help, to where, okay, well, we'll provide this forum for you to come talk to us, and my comment during the discussions, I think I got written up the paper, this quote, and I thought, oh great. I said, well, all we can do is sit there and smile and say thank you, because that's all we can really do. But we can direct the superintendency to, hey, put this on a future agenda so we can talk about it then, which I think is effective, but it's kind of a less effective way. It's best to talk to us one-on-one, and then we can kind of interject it and make it, and really talk about it and discuss it. So, any other questions? Yes, please.
What has the board seen, or what have you heard in terms of comprehensive sex education that is being pushed?
Well, fortunately, it hasn't been pushed. So we as a district, as a community, more importantly, I think, as a community, we can set the sex education we want that's appropriate. So there is a curriculum that we have, and we obviously ask permission. Parents can come in and review the curriculum if they want to. We have folks that have been, I wish I knew the names off the top of my head, I apologize, I don't, that have been doing this for years. And the parents can review what's being shared, and, well, you're familiar with that, I'm sure. But no, nothing's been pushed on us. We can choose as a community what we feel is appropriate. And so right now, we have some people who come in and say, well, it should be better, it should be more, there should be more information. But our response really at this point is the community knows what they want, and that's where we're at right now, and they seem to be content with it.
It is a concern in other parts of the country.
Yeah.
It is pushed and quite forcefully against the will of the parents.
What's that?
Against the will of
Of the parents?
Yeah. And for example, they can't opt out. The child cannot opt out.
Where's this at?
Massachusetts is one, first place.
With Arizona, you can't.
Fortunately, in Arizona, yeah, we still enjoy that freedom to opt out. So. And hopefully, we can still maintain that local control. Yeah, that's. I can't think of anything else unless there's any other questions or concerns.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you very much.